Today I'll be interviewing my aunt Giselle Cabrera, who is right now one of the directors at St. Thomas University. She used to work in politics. So Giselle, how did you end up in Washington?
Well, it's a long story, but after graduating from college, I wanted to try something different. I wanted to go outside of my comfort zone, leave my family, and I had always had a passion for politics. And so I took the leap and sold my car, packed up all my bags, and moved to Washington, D.C. without a job. And it took me a while, but after about 3 months I found a job. Not exactly in politics, but I worked my way up, and 7 years later I was working for members of Congress and was working on Capitol Hill, meeting the president, and doing all sorts of really great things. So that was it.
That's crazy. How was it like not being next to your family the whole entire time?
Well, that was really hard. Because I had always lived with my family, except for when I went away to college. But I was very close to them. And like I said, I didn't know anybody in Washington when I moved there. I just packed up my bags and took that leap. So it was hard not having the support of my family, but I called them every day. I talked to my mom every day, sometimes more than once a day, which helped a lot. And I made a lot of friends. It forced me to come out of my shell and be more social and make more of an effort to meet new people, so that was good. And I learned how to be independent and do things on my own. I had never really cooked an entire meal on my own until I moved to Washington, so that was good. And but it was also a big sacrifice not having my family around.
With all the craziness going on in politics right now, how did you handle with that?
Well, that's a very good question, Julian, because that was one of the things that I struggled with. When I first moved to Washington to work in politics, I had an idea of what I thought that world was like, and it ended up being very different, and so there were times when I was a little disillusioned. But I stuck to my morals and to my values, and I always did what I thought was right. And even though I didn't have my family close by, I was able to talk to them and confide in them and ask for their advice. And that got me through the difficult times in Washington, where I faced things that really left me wondering whether I had made the right choice by making that sacrifice and moving away so far away from my family to follow a dream. So it was difficult times, but I learned a lot about myself and others in the process.
Have you ever thought about just packing up and leaving and going right back to Miami, just about one crazy day that happened?
Well, I did do that. I packed up my stuff 7 years after I moved to D.C. I packed up my stuff and moved back to Miami. It was time to come back home and to be close to my family. And so it was also a little bit of a challenge adjusting to being back in Miami after so long. But here I am, and it was a great decision.
What was your first reaction when you saw the whole family together again?
It was great, and I visited. I visited often, so it wasn't like I never saw you again. I would come often to visit everyone, but it was nice being back in my parents' house and sleeping in my old bed and having family dinners again. I had forgotten what that was like, so it was really nice to be back home and to come back to family parties. And it had been a while since I had had a Thanksgiving dinner with the family, so it was nice to come back home, and I'm glad I did.
Do you have any advice for everyone out there?
Absolutely. For anybody that's looking to leave home, to go away to college, or follow their dream, their passion, whatever it may be, I say you do it, you go for it. That doesn't mean that you won't be close to your family, that your family won't be present, even though you don't see them every day. And never forget that. Never forget about your family. But you have to do it for yourself. You have to go out and discover what your strengths are and your weaknesses, and learn a lot in the process about what it is to be an adult and to be independent and to follow your dreams. And you'll learn some really great things about yourself in the process and about others. So I say you do it. Don't think too much about it. Just go for it.
Thank you so much for the interview, Giselle.
Welcome.
I'd like to do another one soon.
Soon.
Thank you.